Hey guys! Well, I'm gonna start doing book reviews on certain books after I read them. And this week, I just got done reading this book, The Miseducation of the Negro. I read it in a week, which is surprising because I worked all week, so I'm kind of surprised that I actually finished the whole book. I mean, it's only 122 pages, 27 pages, and it has an appendix with two other things that they're talking about. So, it was a good read, and the book, a lot of the information in the book I already knew, but it went more into depth about certain situations, and it, you know, basically summed up everything, and it was more in depth, and it broke a lot of things down. Now, in this book, it's basically the miseducation of the Negro, basically talking about how since the beginning of time we have been miseducated when it comes to education, when it comes to us, black people, when it comes to politics and so on and so forth. It's basically talking about how we've been taught that we haven't contributed anything to this country or to the world, and how we were just slaves, and we really didn't put a lot into America. We didn't do a lot on this soil, or even before we came here. It's talking about how we're trying so hard to come together with them instead of, separate and build for ourselves, and to do for ourselves, and to think for ourselves, and to help our people, and so on and so forth. And the corruption with that, how, we won't even help our people because of the certain things that we've been taught about ourselves, and how, instead of coming together with our people, we try to compete, we try to, do for ourselves even for that. And when I mean do for ourselves for that, I mean we just do things for profit, or, to help our own, like our own being, not, the community or our society or our black people, like we need to do. When I say like we need to do, I'm saying how are we going to get out of the situations we are in if we don't help each other? You know what I mean? In the book, it talks about how, when you teach a person their history, and you give the person the education that you want them to know, it's so easy to control them. It's so easy to control their minds. And when you can control a person's mind, you can control everything that they do, everything that they think. You control them. They become, mental slaves, and they're your chattel. Whatever they learn is, you know, basically the right thing, when in exactly it's not. We've been taught the wrong thing since the beginning of time, not just, all the American people, but us black people. We haven't really been taught a lot about our contribute to the world, about what we've brought to the world, what we've influenced, like what our culture influenced, how our cultures influence other cultures, the value of who we are, and the value of where our people come from, and the value of what we have done. Basically talking about how they want us to see us, like how they see us. They want us to see ourselves as less, and they want us to see ourselves as, oh, we can't do anything since we didn't contribute then. Since we didn't contribute then, we can't contribute anything now, which is completely false. And when you adopt that mindset, when people have told you for years and years that you basically ain't shit, that you haven't done anything, that you can't contribute anything, then you're gonna think that, and you're not really gonna try to, step up and be innovative, and be inventive, and do new things, and um, do for your people, and create and build for your people. You're always going to try to lag onto them. You're always going to try to imitate what they do. And that's completely that's the opposite of what we should be doing. And another thing is, like, it's telling us how we need to learn to think for ourselves. We're always, been told what we should think of us, instead of, you know, educating ourselves, and coming up with our own idea, and coming up with our own concept of who we are as black people, who we are as ourselves. We've adopted what they've taught us. You know what I mean? And that's why we have a lot of issues today, and we've had a lot of issues in the past. But I feel like it's also talking about in the group how us black people need to become more radical, because we're too much with them. Like, we try so hard to be equal to them, and whatever they do, even if when it's wrong, we're still with them. That, realizing the bull crap that they taught us, that's not true about us, we should become angry about that. We shouldn't be, instead of trying to be with them, we basically need to, break off and do for ourselves, and do for our people, create things for our people, you know celebrate our culture, learn about our culture, teach our culture, learn more about us than we do about them, because we know so much about, the Greeks and the Romans. We don't know anything about what Africans did, contributed before and after, slavery and all that other crap, because that's the only thing that we've been taught, is that we were slaves. The crazy thing about that is we influenced the Greek and Roman culture, yet we are not told that. I wonder why. I'm gonna read something, and it basically summed up the whole book. And it says, I'm gonna read three things. The oppressor of the race and the Negro cooperating with them are determined that the history and status of the Negro should not be made a part of the curricular. And it's basically talking about how the true answers, I guess, they're talking about the white people or whatever, how they teach us, how the things that they teach us is to keep us oppressed and to keep us down and to keep us from not moving forward. Being told that your people haven't done anything, you're really not going to take a chance to do anything, because it's just like, why? But it's up to us. If we want to see a change, if we want to see a real change, if we want, opportunities, we need to create that for ourselves. We need to go into our communities. We need to build them up. We need to talk to our children. We need to go into our schools and teach them the actual facts. We can't depend on them to do that. We have to do that for ourselves. That's something that we have to do. What we have been taught, the things that we have been taught for centuries, is to just hold us down in one space and to not move or to excel or anything like that. I'm gonna read something from here. I'm gonna read three things. Like I said, it says, a thinking man, however, learns to deal wisely with his conditions as he finds them, rather than to take orders from someone who knows nothing about his status and can care less, which is completely true. Think about what I just said and come up with your own idea of what that means. I already did, but I want you to do that for yourself. So like I said, a thinking man. And then right here it says, the Negro needs to become angry with himself because he has not handled his own affairs wisely. In other words, the Negro must learn from others how to take care of himself in this trying ordeal. He must not remain content with taking over what others set aside for him, and then come in the guise of friends to subject even the limited information to further misinterpretation. That says a lot. That basically sums up the whole book. It's a lot of more information in this book that I could share, but it's too much and it's a lot, and I just recommend you all to get this book. For real, get this book. It also talks about how, it's good to have leadership, but we need to have services. We need to have people in the communities helping and building and coming together and creating certain services for our people, and it's right here, the need for service rather than leadership. It says build or beg. I wrote that. If you build it, you can control it. It's yours. You can't have someone else coming into what you built and telling you how to organize it, telling you how to, give it to the people, telling you what to teach the people, so on and so forth. It's yours, so you come up with that curricula and you come up with that formula, and so on and so forth. It's been too long where we have been told the false ideals of who we are as people and how we're bad and evil and so on and so forth, and we created all these negative things and how we are negative and how we haven't contributed anything, how we haven't done anything for ourselves before and after slavery. And yeah, it's basically talking about coming together to organize and build. The race needs workers, not leaders. Such workers will solve the problems which race leaders talk about and raise money to enable them to talk more and more about it. What I just said previous to what I read. And what I wrote, I said, provide a service, ways to solve problems, break off from them and do from the community, unlearn their teachings, all talk and raise money. Leadership isn't going to get anywhere moving. Leadership isn't going to get anything moving. Service will, action will, workers will, which will solve the problems. Who will solve the problem? So yeah, that's a lot of what I learned from the book. It's a lot more, but those are some of the key points, which is very important. Service and building, learning and growing, learning about who we are as people, thinking for ourselves, doing for ourselves, putting action into the words that we speak, you know, looking into our communities, trying to understand why things, understanding who we are, why things happen. Not only that, but learning about what brought us to these circumstances, the cause, not the cause and the effects, but more so learning about the causes of the effects, which is extremely important. That's something that we really need to realize and learn about. But also learning what can change the effects. So yeah, that's what I learned, and I really hope you guys get this book. Cause look, I know I said it was a lot that I've read already from the book, but look at the highlights that I did. Hopefully you guys can see them. Dang. Every page. Crazy, right? But yeah, I highly recommend this book. It's by Carter G. Woodson. And this book was published in 1933, but it applies a lot to today's time. My next book is Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. I will do a review on this also. But yeah, I highly recommend this book. You learn a lot from this book. It will really help you to understand a lot that's going on today, and you can find a lot of answers to figuring out how to deal with certain things also that are going on today. And not only that, but it'll motivate you to you want to go out there and put action and help your own people create and build, so on and so forth. But I thank you guys for watching. Follow me on my support page, Facebook, which is Queen Left, Twitter, Miss Queen Left, Instagram, Queen Left, Tumblr, Queen Left, which is my blog piece. And, peace. At the end of the day, we have to realize that only us can save us. We can't look forward to integrating with them and being equal to them, or them doing things for us before they do those things for their people, because they're not. And not only that, but when we do our things for our own black people and build our community and give ourselves these services, and build our own schools and so on and so forth, we can't worry about what they say. You have to be unapologetic. You have to be on a mission. You have to know your goal and go towards that. And the only way you're going to do that is if you know who you are, and you know your history, you know where you come from, you know the power in your people. Because if you follow what they taught you and how we're inferior, so on and so forth, whatever they say, you're going to gravitate towards that. You're going to be like, you know what, that's true. Maybe we shouldn't do that. And you're going to take advice from them when it's not needed, because everything that they gave us was false. Everything that they gave us was the means to diminish us and demean us. You know what I mean? You have to realize who you are, who your people are, your power and your worth, in order to really succeed in the goals. And not only that, but for them to be proactive and innovative. You can't do the same things that they are doing. We have to come up with ways for us. You can't imitate what they do. You have to build on your own, and you have to, yeah. If we're going to do the things that we are needed to do, we can't be afraid to do it. We can't worry about what they say. You have to be unapologetic. You have to be on a mission. You have to be focused on solving the issues and giving the people the services that they need to. Yes, this is 2016, but we have to realize that the same things are still going on regardless of how it's being done. You know what I mean? We will never be on their level in their terms. We can't fight to be on the same plane as them. We have to just do for ourselves and create our own things in order for our what we contribute to be recognized and honored. You know what I mean? And not only that, but we have to teach our children